Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Hi everyone. Today I was invited by Mr. Ram Prasad, who's a certified financial planner from Hyderabad, and said, let's do a podcast. What I was telling Ram is that let's turn the table. Why do you want me to answer your question? I said, Ram, I have to ask you so many questions. You built such fantastic business. You've been advising or managing so many customers, managing their financial discipline, etc., etc. So instead of Ram asking me questions, I said, let me ask Ram, how are you doing this whole thing? And I thought it would be nice to hear from him because he is so near to the customer and he's so near to the investor, and he knows there is so much of knowledge that he has, right, dealing with customers' portfolios and customers' behavior. So on that note, Ram,
Yes, sir.
I'm changing and I'm turning the tables.
It's surprise and pleasure to me.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's just so impromptu, right?
Right, Amar. Right.
So
That's
Ram, I had one question for you, right?
Please,
You
please.
said that you talk to so many customers, right?
Yes.
And you do this solely by yourself.
Yes, true.
More than 1800 unique PAN numbers that you manage their
Yes.
portfolio or talk to them on their investments.
Yes.
How do you do it? Like how do you know that what should be given to, or where should this customer invest, where should this customer invest, how much insurance he has to buy, how much mutual fund he has to do, how much SIP? So how are you managing all these things?
I believe it's all taught by my clients.
Uh-huh.
It's not we teaching something to client. When we meet more and more clients, to be open, there are few schemes which are recommended by my clients. I implement those schemes to all of my clients. Whenever someone is convincing me, saying that this is a better scheme in risk return and all,
Right.
there are few clients who are more knowledgeable than me. My own clients. Still, I manage their money. Whenever we had a casual talk or discussion, they come to me with some new fund, some new style, from some different AMC, new AMC and all. All these discussions will happen. My objective is to create wealth for my clients. Whatever is good for them, whatever I'm learning new, I implement this entire thing in my client's portfolio. In one word, I can say all the learning is from the clients, not that we are teaching something to clients.
Right. But it indeed needs a lot of patience and lot of time, right? To
Yes.
deal with so many different people with different goals, different mindsets, different. So I think it's a fantastic job that you're doing, Ram. Ram, one thing that as a fund house, we always tell all our customers that look, the foundation or the biggest discipline that you have to manage is look at your asset allocation,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In the long term, there is no single or there is no only right asset class,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like how we have a balanced diet, you need your mix of protein, fiber, carbs, and you don't eat only one
Yes,
thing.
yes.
There's not a single, aisa nahi hai ki all money should be into equity or gold or real estate or bond, right? How do you go about teaching your customers the discipline of asset allocation? How important is asset allocation according to you?
Sir, here I have a different view on it actually. Whenever we meet client, I try to understand their net worth, their assets, their liabilities, and then I define their net worth. Surprisingly, when I look at one's portfolio, overall portfolio, it's not just mutual fund portfolio. The biggest thing I understood is whenever we are talking about asset allocation, it is within mutual fund we are talking asset allocation. But when I'm doing a planning for his lifetime needs, then I should look at his overall portfolio. And most of the case I find their asset in real estate is more than 90%. That's where I feel a bigger challenge. Managing asset allocation within mutual fund is not a bigger task. My primary role is get them some major chunk, the wallet share compared to their overall net worth. A decent money into mutual funds has become a difficult task. Then after we look into within mutual fund asset allocation, for that matter, today, whenever we took the large lump sum amount in the last 8 months, we are more comfort in getting into a multi-asset or a dynamic asset allocation or BAF kind. So asset allocation definitely matters to protect the investors' money
Right.
in all the market conditions. So I do, prefer doing asset allocation, but I feel the major challenge in asset allocation compared to the real estate.
Right.
So that's where people went wrong actually. Correcting that is not an easy task.
Right.
That's a lifetime task.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Mutual fund returns, the past is never guaranteed, right? They're subject to market risk. Since Ram also mentioned that, how multi-asset is done, of course, future is not necessarily can be guaranteed that way. But Ram, I think you are very right that there is a love for real estate. And, but in the last 1 decade, right, or maybe even more, I think mutual funds have found space into customers' portfolios, right? You have seen a phenomenal growth in number of customers buying mutual fund. You have seen a fantastic SIP book that has got created, which is a very disciplined way of investing. You have seen product innovations, you have seen, various choices available through a mutual fund route. I want to touch upon SIP, Ram, right?
Yes.
And you have been a very, very big advocate of SIP, right?
Yes,
For
true.
me, it is about, SIP is the way to just invest in a very disciplined manner for your long-term growth. So it's not about market timing.
Yes.
You keep on doing it. So how do you see SIPs fulfilling the goals of your customer? Who should do SIP? Where should I do SIP? How much amount? It's very easy to say SIP. Where do I do it? How much do I do it? For how long do I do it? How do you go about talking about SIP to your customers?
And SIP has to be a purposeful investment. You should know the goal and time first. Without that, you will never be able to find a scheme. I say if it is for daughter's education, is it for higher education? Is it in India or abroad? What is today's cost? What will be the future cost?
Right.
Then you get to know what is the required amount in a month on month to be contributed, taking a conservative return.
Right.
Maybe 9 to 12 kind of
Right.
thing. So that will be your safeguard on any day. So once you know about the goal, while you are nearing the goal, something like 3 years before, it's a time for you to move into debt.
Right.
So until unless you know the goal and the required corpus and the time horizon for it, you will never be able to choose the right fund.
Right.
And as well as the right amount.
Right.
Now I see the major challenge with people, everyone is doing an SIP.
Right.
I hardly find a guy not doing SIP because maybe I am surrounded by those people.
Right.
But whether they are doing the right amount is the
Right.
biggest question.
Yeah.
People are doing SIP, what SIP? Very nominal amount. That will not take them anywhere.
Right.
When I meet a typical IT guy, he says someone feels proud that I am doing 50,000 SIP. I said 50,000 is not of use.
Right.
Considering your scenario, you've
Right.
got 2 kids,
Right.
their higher education, your retirement in next 15 years.
Right.
Requires huge corpus, something around 8 crore, 10 crore.
Right.
With the 50,000, where will you land up?
Right.
You hardly land up at 1.5 crores, sir. You
Right.
will have shortfall of 8 crores.
Right.
So that's where I put different rules to every customer.
Right.
For someone who is already into huge EMIs, unable to make a contribution towards SIP, I tell them what is your convenient amount, you invest that only.
Right.
Let us not make life difficult today,
Correct.
considering the future. Then let us stick on to your rule. The rule is, for most of the people I tell this rule, now onwards, whenever there is an increase in salary, out of your increased salary, 50% should come to SIP. Remaining 50 how to spend on your family, upgrading, living the life.
Right.
But other 50 has to come into SIP. Even if
Right.
someone follow that rule, I see in IT industry, more or less, people are making their CTC double in 6 to 7 years.
Right. Right.
If someone is at a take home of 2 lakhs today, if you follow this rule in the next 6 years, his SIP today is starting with 50 and another 2 lakhs increase in his take home, he will be adding 1 lakh into it, his SIP will become 1.5 lakh.
Right.
With that, one can make a very decent number.
Right.
That will take care of all his goals.
Right.
One has to build the money first, then he can use it for any purpose. That's what I tell. People are limiting themselves. While doing SIP, if someone started as X amount, with the excess money, he is trying to do some other experiment. That's where the problem is.
Right.
And it's all in the game is in the first 3 years handholding a client.
Right.
You can hold on a client for 3 years now.
Right.
Then sometime one of my client called me, said, Ram, I'm getting some decent lump sum amount from one of my uncle.
Right.
So you recommend me where can I invest? I told him, you invest anywhere other than mutual fund. He said, Ram, how can you say that? We have seen such a good returns in mutual fund.
Right.
Then I asked him, do you have a question to ask me about it?
Right.
No, why are you asking me? You should ask me which scheme to invest at this point of time.
Right. Right.
Where to invest is not the question.
Right.
Because you are the guy experienced in mutual fund for the last 3 years.
Right.
You have seen returns.
Right.
So the guys, the people, those are in mutual funds for more than 3-4 years, or for a business cycle, they get to know the power of it.
Right. Right.
One that is there, it's easy for them for the rest of the life.
Right.
But initial 3-4 years is difficult, and the role of MFD is to handle them for the initial 3-4 years with a decent size of skin in the game.
Right.
That's what people are missing, sir.
Right.
This is what I feel about SIPs.
No, Ram, you said very interesting thing, right? That look, there has to be a purpose.
Yes.
And that purpose has to have a time, attached to it,
Yes.
right? And that's the journey that you want to cover.
Yes.
And basis that your starting point has to be decided.
Yes.
Right? So a lot of people just do the mistake that, hey, look, it's so generic that it's SIP. Here is that 5,000 rupees that I want to do, whereas that 5,000 is not going to serve the purpose perhaps.
Yes.
And hence it's very important today to put down those things.
Yes.
And then what do I say is fix the right amount. And then your job comes in that when you fix that right amount, which scheme or which product that you should select, right? And that's where the role that you will play, that let me try and help you in terms of doing that. So I think it's a very interesting thought, and I wish people did that more often. Then perhaps the industry SIP book would have been double of what we have today, but I'm sure we'll go there, right?
Yes.
So matter of time is there. One thing that I picked up when you were giving or talking about SIP is that, you know, something else, something new, and these days that something new is that there's a lot of people who are saying that, look, I know how to manage money. I will buy my stocks, I will buy equity, I don't need anybody, right? And that whole concept of DIY, the way I see it is that DIY is a good thing to do, and of course you should do, right? Provided you know how to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
True,
If you
true.
know how to do it, why shouldn't you do it DIY? Why should I spend even little bit time trying to seek advice, seek help, seek solutions, resolutions? How are you come across so many customers these days, right? And how are you seeing this DIY? You know, what are the challenges that you see? For example, somebody said that, look, I buy direct equities. I said, of course, it's good. You can do it, right? Provided you know that what am I buying, why am I buying, have you researched the company, have you researched the numbers, have you researched the sector, there's so much of work that has to go before taking that decision, right? That's what at mutual funds we do, right? So I said, if you are doing all that, why not do it? But what's your take on this whole DIY thing?
Time is more costlier than money.
Well said.
People are not valuing their own time. If someone starts doing DIY, he has got money, that means he is working for someone. He is already exhausted at the workplace. Even after coming home, he started working on something else, leaving his family. Is it worth doing?
Right.
So I personally believe health is the biggest wealth.
Right.
Nothing should be at the cost of losing health.
Right.
So now we see people are undergoing tremendous stress in the workplace. In addition to that, you start doing some other project like researching at the bedroom, at the washroom. Then where are they ending up?
Right.
They are losing the relation with the family is what my sincere observation from the people.
Right.
There are people I met, few people say, I said, you go on a tour and come back.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Right.
People tells me, sir, I want to do. Yes, everyone has to get an hands-on experience, then come. But typically, very honestly, I can say, when I meet people, I ask them how much is in mutual fund, how much is in stocks. Everyone has some portion in the stocks. I tell them how long you've been doing. Yeah, both are for the last 5-6 years. Where is that you are having the higher CAGR? Obviously, people tell mutual fund, sir. This higher CAGR. Then why still you didn't realize till now? Still you want to waste your time? If you have proven that you are making more return, stick on to there.
Right.
But it's proven with 90% of the people, maybe 10% are exceptional.
Right.
Even after realizing it, why you want to waste your time?
Right.
This is a common understanding. After this, my confidence build. I become very confident in canvassing.
Right.
So because I have witnessed, I have met people, thousands of people.
Right.
98% of the people have made more return in mutual funds compared to their direct stocks. And the time they spend on stocks is entire time is on stocks.
Sure.
What would in mutual fund?
Yeah.
You given it to an expert, na? Expert is not alone. He has got a team.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I tell many people got convinced, they started building wealth.
Very nice. I'll say that as far as you know how to do it. But what I hear from you is that, look, there is a time value to the everything.
Aha.
And if you're not getting corresponding worth for the time that you spend,
Yes.
just leave it to the
Cost is very expensive. At what cost you are doing it is the
Of
question.
course, of course.
It should never be at the cost of losing your health.
Of course. Ram, so you know, what basis you're learning, right? In managing the financial products or the entire range, managing customers, seeing the cycles of the market, etc., etc.
Yes.
Your 3 advice to an investor, right? That look, write this down on a book, wall, wherever you want to write it down, and don't deviate from these 3 steps.
Yeah, as I said, health is the biggest wealth of one's life. The real luxury is not having a bungalow and car, it is having your health.
Sure.
Nothing should be at the cost of losing your health, be it an investment or be it a relation.
Sure.
I said be it a relation also. Protect your health first.
Right.
Then comes to wealth.
Right.
Even before growing your wealth, protect your wealth first.
Sure.
It's not preserving, I am telling protecting.
Sure.
Protecting your wealth will come through securing your family against the uncertainties
Sure.
like health and untimely death.
Right.
So I tell everyone to have an adequate health insurance for all his dependents,
Sure.
be it parents, in-laws, siblings. Do that first. Till that time, you are not allowed to invest.
Right. Very.
Then
very
a life insurance, which is a pure term insurance.
Right.
We should able to manage a family even in your absence.
Right.
Take that second.
Sure.
Then third is start your investment with an SIP. These three things.
Keep it very, very simple.
Very
right?
simple.
Take care of your health, get it insured,
Yes.
your life, so that your near and dear ones are protected.
Yes.
And then the starting point is that go in a disciplined way about
Disciplined way,
investing.
yes.
And what better tool than a systematic investment
Plan.
No, thank you so much, Ram. It was indeed pleasure talking to you. I would say that very, very basic things, right? We simply
Yes.
complicate it. Life is simple anyways. Investment, if done in a right manner, is also simple. You keep on doing the same thing again and again, do the most boring thing, and eventually reach your journey. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much, Ram.
Right,
It
Amar.
was
Thank you very much for accepting my interview.
Pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.